The monumental stage of America's Got Talent has produced countless viral sensations, but the entertainment industry has absolutely never witnessed a massive 21-year redemption arc quite like this. When a brilliant 25-year-old singer named Mackenzie Sol bravely stepped under the blinding Hollywood lights, he carried a profoundly emotional secret that completely shocked executive producer Simon Cowell. Exactly over 2 decades earlier, at the incredibly tender age of 4, he had confidently auditioned for the exact same legendary judge in the United Kingdom. Now, returning as a deeply hardened, battle-tested vocal veteran, his breathtaking emotional performance completely paralyzed the entire theater, ultimately forcing pop icon Mel B to violently shatter the rules and slam the highly coveted golden buzzer. Today, we investigate the profound psychological resilience, the brilliant technical vocal mastery, and the absolute industry dominance behind this historically magical television masterclass. The full circle moment of a lifetime. When a 25-year-old singer named Mackenzie Sol walked onto the colossal stage of America's Got Talent, he brought with him a truly unprecedented television history. Exactly 21 years earlier, at the incredibly tender age of 4, he had previously stood before executive producer Simon Cowell during a highly memorable audition for the United Kingdom version of The X Factor.
For a performer to endure the brutal music industry for over 2 decades and somehow find their way back to the exact same judge on a completely different continent is a statistically impossible phenomenon. This magical reunion immediately established a deeply emotional narrative foundation that absolutely captivated the entire global viewing audience. He proved that genuine artistic dedication is not a temporary childhood phase, but a lifelong pursuit of absolute excellence that can successfully withstand decades of constant rejection and intense struggle. The psychological weight of the return. Performing for the most notoriously strict music executive in the entire world is incredibly intimidating for any seasoned professional, but the psychological weight resting on Mackenzie was entirely unique. When he originally sang for Simon Cowell as a tiny 4-year-old toddler, he possessed the beautiful, naive ignorance of youth, completely unaware of the massive commercial stakes involved. However, standing under those blinding Hollywood lights at 25 years old, he carried the heavy burden of countless failed attempts, missed opportunities, and years spent singing in completely empty local pubs across northern England. The incredible pressure to prove that his early childhood potential had genuinely blossomed into mature, formidable adult talent could have easily crushed a weaker vocalist.
Instead, he channeled every single ounce of that intense anxiety into a highly focused, deeply professional, and absolutely flawless vocal delivery, the courage to present deep vulnerability. In a highly competitive television landscape where performers frequently rely on massive, explosive vocal acrobatics or highly familiar pop anthems to secure immediate audience approval, his specific song choice was a brilliant strategic risk. By performing a deeply personal, incredibly vulnerable track centered around the highly complicated emotional transition from romantic lovers back to platonic friends, he intentionally stripped away all artificial theatricality. He completely refused to hide behind complex musical arrangements or a massive backing choir, forcing the massive theater to actively engage with the raw, intimate heartbreak embedded within his lyrical storytelling. This immense artistic bravery immediately separated him from the massive crowd of generic auditioning hopefuls. It successfully signaled to the incredibly powerful judging panel that he is a serious, authentic recording artist with a highly defined commercial identity, escaping the brutal pub circuit of England. To fully appreciate the absolute magnitude of his triumphant global breakthrough, we must deeply analyze the grueling professional environment that forged his remarkable vocal resilience.
Coming from Newcastle in the northeast of England, he spent countless years surviving the notoriously brutal, highly unforgiving local pub and club circuit. This specific environment is a relentless training ground where performing artists must constantly battle over noisy crowds, terrible sound systems, and general public apathy just to earn a basic living. Enduring this incredibly harsh reality for several years naturally hardens a performer, completely stripping away any fragile illusions about the glamorous music industry. This rigorous background provided him with an unbreakable stage presence and a level of absolute humility that immediately resonated with the massive American television audience, completely distinguishing him as a deeply hardened veteran. The mastery of subtle vocal architecture. The sheer technical brilliance of his vocal performance lies entirely in his absolute mastery of subtle emotional restraint rather than overwhelming sonic volume. While many reality television singers mistakenly believe that screaming extremely high notes is the only valid method to secure a standing ovation, he utilized a highly sophisticated, deeply nuanced vocal architecture. He carefully treated the microphone like an incredibly delicate musical instrument, masterfully controlling his breath support to deliver the painful lyrics with absolute pinpoint precision.
This profound level of vocal maturity effectively pulled the massive theater audience completely inward, forcing them to hold their collective breath so they would not miss a single devastating syllable. It is incredibly rare to witness a performer completely dominate a massive, cavernous Hollywood arena using such a quiet, intensely intimate, and profoundly delicate vocal technique. The immediate disruption by Judge Mel B. The traditional protocol of the judging panel typically dictates that Simon Cowell, as the executive producer, heavily guides the final evaluation process, completely analyzing the commercial viability of the performing artist. However, the sheer emotional gravity of this highly specific performance completely obliterated all standard television procedures. The legendary pop icon Mel B was so absolutely overwhelmed by the undeniable brilliance of his vocal execution that she completely refused to wait for her fellow judges to offer their standard critiques. She boldly interrupted the traditional flow of the television broadcast, immediately declaring his performance to be absolutely and extraordinarily fabulous. This highly aggressive, unscripted interruption beautifully highlighted the undeniable power of his artistic talent, proving that genuine emotional connection completely transcends heavily formatted television production rules and guidelines. The golden buzzer as ultimate validation.
When Mel B dramatically slammed her hand onto the highly coveted golden buzzer, raining thousands of glittering golden confetti pieces down upon the massive stage, it represented infinitely more than just a simple advancement to the live broadcasts. For Mackenzie, that specific golden button physically materialized over 2 decades of constant struggle, relentless rejection, and unwavering belief in his own massive artistic potential. It served as the ultimate industry validation, instantly transforming him from a struggling local pub singer into a highly prioritized, globally recognized musical phenomenon. This unprecedented moment completely wiped away 21 years of profound doubt, replacing it with the absolute certainty that his lifelong dedication to the performing arts was entirely justified. It is a deeply poetic, highly cinematic resolution to a narrative arc that television producers typically spend millions of dollars trying to invent. Bypassing traditional corporate gatekeepers, the immediate viral explosion generated by this monumental golden buzzer performance completely fundamentally alters his specific trajectory within the global music industry. Historically, emerging artists absolutely required the massive financial backing of highly controlling record labels to secure this specific level of international exposure.
However, by brilliantly leveraging the massive broadcasting power of America's Got Talent, he has successfully bypassed the traditional, highly restrictive corporate gatekeepers entirely. He now possesses direct, unfiltered access to millions of fiercely dedicated global supporters who are heavily invested in his personal journey. This massive independent leverage essentially forces powerful music executives to approach him on his own highly specific terms, allowing him to securely maintain absolute creative control over his future musical releases and entirely avoid deeply exploitative reality television contracts. Building a formidable global digital fanbase. The absolute true power of his highly spectacular television moment extends significantly far beyond the actual broadcast itself, rapidly translating into massive digital momentum across all major social media platforms. Audiences around the entire globe are deeply fascinated by his incredible resilience and his deeply authentic personality, immediately flooding his personal channels with overwhelming support. This incredibly rapid digital mobilization is the absolute holy grail for modern music marketing, completely guaranteeing that any future original song releases will receive an immediate massive surge of international streaming numbers.
By successfully transforming casual television viewers into highly militant, deeply loyal digital advocates, he is actively constructing a highly sustainable, independent empire that will continue to heavily generate massive revenue regardless of the ultimate final outcome of the television competition. Setting a new standard for television redemption. Ultimately,
This breathtaking audition establishes a completely brand new, incredibly high standard for reality television redemption narratives. He successfully proved that returning to the massive global stage after an incredibly long, highly frustrating absence requires infinitely more than just a heartwarming backstory. It demands absolute, undeniable artistic mastery. As the 21st season fiercely marches toward the highly anticipated live broadcast phase, he stands perfectly positioned as a dominant frontrunner, possessing an unbreakable psychological foundation. His incredible journey serves as a highly profound, deeply inspiring testament to all struggling artists around the world, proving that true legendary success is never defined by early childhood fame, but by the relentless, quiet dedication to constantly perfecting your craft when absolutely nobody is actively watching or financially supporting your incredibly difficult journey.